Louise, Princess Royal and Duchess of Fife, was the third child and eldest daughter of King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra of the United Kingdom. She was a younger sister of King George V. Louise was given the title of Princess Royal in 1905. Louise was born on the 20th of February, 1867 at Marlborough House, the London residence of her parents, the Prince and Princess of Wales. Louise's father was the eldest son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Her mother was the eldest daughter of Christian IX and Queen Louise of Denmark. From birth, as a male-line granddaughter of the British monarch, she had the title Her Royal Highness Princess Louise of Wales. She was baptized at Marlborough House on the 10th of May by Charles Longley, Archbishop of Canterbury. She spent much of her childhood at Sandringham House in Norfolk. Like her sisters Victoria and Maud, she was educated under the supervision of tutors and studied guitar under Katharina Pratten. She occasionally spent the summer in Denmark, her mother's homeland. In her youth, Louise was described as a very withdrawn girl. Louise and her sisters, Victoria and Maud, were bridesmaids at the wedding of their paternal aunt Princess Beatrice to Prince Henry of Battenberg in 1885. Despite her mother's attempts to keep her daughters unmarried and by her side, on the 27th of July, 1889, Louise married Alastair Duff, 6th Earl Fife, who was 18 years her senior, at the private chapel in Buckingham Palace with the Archbishop of Canterbury officiating at the service. They were third cousins through an illegitimate line, as Alexandra was a great-grandchild of William IV and Dorothea Jordan. Her bridesmaids were Princesses Maud and Victoria of Wales, Victoria Mary of Teck. 2 days after the wedding, Queen Victoria created him Duke of Fife and Marquess of Macduff in the peerage of the United Kingdom. The letters patent creating this dukedom contained the standard remainder: to heirs male of the body lawfully begotten. After the birth of their 2 daughters, on the 24th of April, 1900, Queen Victoria signed letters patent creating a second dukedom of Fife, along with the earldom of Macduff in the peerage of the United Kingdom with a special remainder. In default of a male heir, these peerages would pass to the daughters of the first duke, and then to their male descendants. The Duke and Duchess of Fife had 3 children: Alastair Duff, Marquess of Macduff, stillborn the 16th of June, 1890. Princess Alexandra, 2nd Duchess of Fife, born on the 17th of May, 1891, and Princess Maud, born on the 3rd of April, 1893. The couple made their home at Mar Lodge, a sporting lodge built for them by Alexander Marshall Mackenzie. On the 9th of November, 1905, Edward VII created Louise the Princess Royal, the highest honor bestowed on a female member of the royal family, succeeding her aunt, Victoria, Empress of Germany, who died in 1901. At the same time, the king declared that the 2 daughters of the Princess Royal would be styled as princesses, with the style and attribute of highness and with precedence immediately after all members of the royal family bearing the style of Royal Highness. In August 1910, Princess Louise's daughter, Alexandra, secretly became engaged to Prince Christopher of Greece and Denmark. Upon hearing the news, Princess Louise and the Duke of Fife disapproved of the match and forbade the union. On the 15th of October, 1913, Alexandra married Louise's first cousin, Prince Arthur of Connaught. In 1911, the Princess Royal sponsored the ship HMS Princess Royal, which was her namesake. On the 12th of December, 1911, she attended the coronation of her brother, King George V, where she wore the Fife tiara. Later that month, the Princess Royal and her family decided to visit Egypt and Sudan during the damp winter of 1911. While sailing aboard the P&OS SS Delhi, the Princess Royal and her family were shipwrecked off the coast of Morocco amongst fog and heavy seas. They were rescued, however waves crashed down on the rescue boat, and Louise's jewel case, containing her diary, photographs and watches were torn from her grasp. Although they were otherwise unharmed, the Duke of Fife fell ill with pleurisy, probably contracted as a result of the shipwreck. He died at Aswan, Egypt, in January 1912, and Princess Alexandra succeeded to his dukedom, becoming Duchess of Fife in her own right. Louise was grief-stricken by his sudden death, and often confided in the solace of her Christian faith. After the death of her husband, Louise led a reclusive life, and was immersed in the relative seclusion of her late husband's Scottish estates, at Mar Lodge. She had become increasingly more frail in her later years, suffering with heart disease. Sometimes, she accompanied her mother and her sister Victoria to public events and sometimes accompanied her mother to the charity event Alexandra Rose Day. On the 1st of July, 1929, Louise made her last public appearance on the Buckingham Palace balcony alongside other members of the royal family. In October 1929, at Mar Lodge, she was taken ill with gastric hemorrhage and was brought back to London. On the 4th of January, 1931, Princess Louise died from valvular heart disease in her sleep at 2:30 p.m. at her home at 15, Portman Square, London, with her two daughters, Alexandra and Maud, at her bedside. Louise was 63 years old. She was 10th in line to the throne at the time of her death. Her sister Queen Maud saw her passing as a release, and wrote, "Louise suffered so terribly these last few months that one can but thank God. She is at peace with her dear ones. But it's sad for us, and the loss of a sister comes very near one's heart." She was buried in St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. Her remains were later removed to the private chapel, Mar Lodge, Braemar, Aberdeenshire. Her will was sealed and her estate was valued at £46,383, or £2.2 million in 2022 when adjusted for inflation. Known for her shy and quiet personality, Louise remained a low-key member of the royal family throughout her life.